Hey everyone, we start with Bitcoin and we start with the daily chart. Actually, since last time I give update is quite a long time. Because in my last analysis, when exactly the price was within this range, I mentioned two things I'm looking for. First, the breakout of this top, and if with the breakout of this one, then I'm looking to see the breakout of 28,300. I mentioned I'm looking to see the breakout of this level. All right, and as we can see, the price almost tagged this top. There was no continuation. The second times also tagged, then there was a deep correction. This is what we discussed, right? But I mentioned what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to breakout of 28,300. And as we can see, the price consolidate within this level for quite a long time before we see the breakout. This is what we have been looking for. We mentioned if the price couldn't break this level 28,300, then the next drop can tag the lowest price of the deeper correction, but it's on a higher time frame. Anyway, we start with the higher time frame. We start with the monthly chart and we want to see what's the next and what we can look for. And if we move to monthly chart, now the question is whether this is the start of the up move and we are expecting the price continue and break the all-time high, or we are expecting the price to consolidate within this range for quite a long time before we see the continuation. All right. Now the question is whether we can put this one relative to what we have here and this one turn to a flat for the next drop. The possibility is very less. All right, but we need to be aware of this one. And mostly what we are expecting this is the start of the up move with a deeper correction for continuation, similar to what we had here, right? That's why from now we are looking for buy. That's mean if we get any opportunity for buy, we will take it. But the possibility of this one to be relative to what we have here, that's mean the price continue as a short move is very less. All right. That's why if you want to look for buy, we should know how to look for the trade, and we are expecting to see the the correction for continuation. This is the best. It can give us better confirmation. But at this point, we don't have any trade setup based on monthly chart. And if I move to lower time frame, if I move to weekly chart, again, as I mentioned, the possibility of we put this one relative to what we have here as a flat is very less, but we need to be aware of this possibility as well. All right. That's why when the price was within here, we mentioned we are looking for the reversal. All right. At this point, I'm looking because at this point the price is somewhere around 31k 30750. All right. The next level I'm looking for to see the breakout of is 32,600 32600. All right. And we need to know this zone is quite important for us. That means if the price continue and it could break this on somewhere around 40k, then the continuation as a sharp move we can expect. All right. But if the price couldn't break this zone, then we are expecting the continuation as a either corrective or deeper correction for continuation. And mostly I'm looking for the deeper correction. But at this point, the next level I'm looking for is 32600, 32,600. All right. And because if we look at the divergence, we look at the indicators, mostly we are expecting to see the deeper correction. But at which level at this point we cannot confirm. But I'm looking for breakout of the 32600. And we don't have any trade setup, any more information based on weekly. And if I move to daily chart, all right, again, as what we have been looking for the quite long time since the price was within this range, we mentioned we are looking for breakout of 28,300 because after that we can expect for continuation and with the expectation of the breakout of the all-time high. All right, but based on since we can see the price broke 28,300, but if we refer to the indicators, if we put this stop in relative to what we have here, we see we have a divergence. All right, and even based on MACD, we see we have a divergence. That's why we need to be quite careful. We are expecting for the correction. That's mean if we want to look for the next trade setup, we have to, based on lower time frame, at least we have to look for the flag before we take the trade. All right. It doesn't mean the price cannot continue, but if the price continues as a corrective move, it doesn't give, we cannot get a really good trade setup. The best thing is we see a DPR correction based on lower time frame before we take the next trade. And based on daily chart, we see we have a divergence, but we don't have any trade setup at this point. And if I move to lower time frame, if we move to forward chart, you want to see whether we have a divergence or not based on forward chart. If I put desktop relative to the previous one, if we refer to the MACD, yes, we have a divergence. And how about the another indicator? Yes, we have a divergence. All right. That's why at least we can expect to see a deep, at least we can expect to see a deeper, a small correction similar to what we have here, turn to flat before we take the next trade. All right, that's why I mentioned if you want to look for trade based on lower time frame, either forward or 1 hour chart, mostly 1 hour chart, we should look for the flag, and any trade will be a short-term trade. As long as we get into the profit, at least we move our stop loss to break even. All right, if you want for continuation, if you want to get the trade and keep it for the long term, we have to wait for the daily correction. All right, by the way, at this point I don't see any trade setup, and if I move to 1 hour chart, all right, again, if we put desktop in relative to the previous one, if we refer to the MACD, we see we have a divergence, and as well here. All right, that's why we can expect, at least if you want to look for the next trade, we have to wait for the correction similar to what we have here before we take the next trade. And if anyone wants to consider this one as a flag, the only option is to put the entry above this. For me, I don't like this way. All right, that's why either we get the sharp move flag, we take it. This is not the flag. This one we could consider as a flag. But if anyone get the trade by having a trade above here, at least they should know how to manage it. They should take out the trade. And if you want to look for the next trade, we prefer the price drop some more before we take the next trade. And any trade will be a short-term trade. Okay, at this point will be a short-term trade because we don't have, I mean, any trade will be based on 1 hour chart, based on the flag. As long as we get into the profit, we have to move our stop loss to break even. But if you want to look for continuation, if you get the daily correction, then it can give us better opportunity to look for buy. And as I mentioned, at this point, I'm looking to see the breakout of the 32,600. And even if you get any opportunity for buy based on lower time frame, we want to see whether the price can break 32,600 or either 33K or not. Okay. And as I mentioned, at this point, it doesn't mean the price cannot continue from here, either as a corrective. If we continue as a corrective, we cannot get a really good trade setup, or if we see the sharp move flag, yes, I will take the trade. But at this point, I don't see any trade setup. I prefer at least deeper correction. Then we consider this one as a flat before we take the next trade. Anyway, I will just follow the chart. If I see any update or any trade setup, I will give update. And if we move to, again, if we move to daily chart for those traders, if they get the trade for buy within this one or from here, if they want to keep the trade, at least move their stop loss to break even. At least they watch out if the price couldn't continue and we see the reversal. Because if the price is going to drop, it can be quite sharp. I don't want to say the price is going to drop if it's happened. That's why any trade within this range, at least we have to book some profit or move our stop loss to break even. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will get share. Thanks.